Carrie.
Hey, Sandra.
Who are we?
We are. Am I doing it today?
Yes, you are, in your Disney voice.
We are the Screaming Divas.
Beautiful. I love that. Yay.
Who
It
are we?
sounded fabulous.
The Screaming Divas.
And who did we interview today? I know, because you're a fangirl. You don't look
Okay,
fangirl.
I'm sorry, but all of you who are going to watch this, I hope you watch how calm and cool and collected I am, because honestly, I was fangirling out, people. We interviewed da, 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 da.
Renée Fleming, America's Diva. Superior singer. And not just singer. I mean, all the things she's done. The first and only opera singer to sing at the Super Bowl, people. Like,
I mean, and that's like a drop in the bucket compared to her entire career and what she has done. And not only opera, but all these other different genres. Her albums that she's
yep.
recorded, unbelievable, people.
Films. And her programs that she did during the pandemic with about the arts and mental health and how it helps all of us. We can't say enough about Renée Fleming, and all of you know who Renée Fleming is because she is the last great diva, in my opinion, in our opinion. So please don't miss
Renee. It's Renee.
Yeah, you don't even need a last name. She's like Beyonce.
She's Beyonce. It's Renee, people. Yep, she is on the Screaming Divas. I am freaking out.
I think I get that, Carrie. I think I'm gonna say you're freaking out. But we had a great chit chat. It was so amazing just to sit and girl talk with Renée Fleming. So
how fun is that? I mean, okay, next time, because I think there should be a part 2 with Renee. We should be in like our yoga pants with martinis.
Just saying.
Or pajamas with our hair on the top of the head. Just saying.
Well, you know what? Maybe it'll happen.
You never know.
But until then, you got to check out this clip.
Thank you, Renee. We love you.
Carrie is really not a stalker, I promise you.
Stay safe, everybody.
Bye.
In the business, we've talked to a lot of general directors who I would say for the most part think that the digital is here to stay. It's going to be a part of our new opera reality.
Oh, that's interesting.
And part of me feels old school in thinking, no, I don't really want that. I mean, even Matthew had said, no, there's nothing better than hearing an opera voice live in a theater, etc. But maybe when we talked with Perrin, who is now at the Canadian Opera Company, said no, digital could actually be really wonderful to reach more people.
Yeah.
Do you have an opinion on that?
I think it's an ad. I think it's a good thing because it's like cinema. You know, we love film.
Yeah.
It gives people a chance to kind of exercise a different type of creative outlet. There's no substitute for hearing a voice in a theater. There's just not. I mean, I remember hearing singers early in my career who I'd only heard on recording and thinking, wow, that's not at all what I expected. You have to hear the live thing. And when I did Bel Canto, the soundtrack for the film, Julianne Moore came to a rehearsal with her husband of Tucker Gala, which was interesting for them. And it was in the morning, and it's because you had all these different voices standing up and, you know, quickly doing their one number. And they flipped out. They said, we had no idea how different everyone would sound, how interesting, because on television, everyone flattens out. It's all kind of the same, and it's not, it doesn't do us justice.
Right.
Yeah. I thought it's always good to kind of get that opinion from someone who's really an outsider, and that I found really interesting. They loved it. They absolutely went crazy for it.
Wow. That's cool.
Variety, just a variety.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, but that said, I love some of the creative uses of digital storytelling that I've seen this last year. And I do hope we kind of keep that going.
There she is. Hello.
Hey, how's everything?
Hey, super great. How are you, lady in red?
Yes, good. Yay.
Are you at home?
Love the Diva mug. Is that what
For
it is?
you.
Yeah.
I should have done that for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fabulous.
How you doing? Thanks for doing this.
Oh, my pleasure. And look at your memorabilia, Sandra. That's brilliant.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
it's years and years of collecting stuff
Wow.
and there's my, as Duncan calls it, my wall of shame.
No, that's the wall of fame. Come on.
Mhm.
Thank you. Yeah,
I
he's
agree
like,
with that.
oh, do I have to look at you all the time, Sandra? No. Do you remember Carrie from Don Giovanni Kennedy Center?
Yes.
Renee,
Yay.
great.
You guys are so adorable in this show. I just saw Matthew Epstein, of course, who sent it to everyone he knows. Yeah, and I've seen a couple other ones too, and you just have such personality. It's phenomenal.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
You know, who knew that two Sopranos could actually be like really good friends for a long time?
Well, it helps that you're in different countries.
There you go.
It's true. It's true. And listen, I mean, you and I, we've known each other a long time.
Yeah, it's true.
And we're friendly. I mean, we
No,
never sing together.
Come on, we're always friendly. It's, it's, I never competed with other people. I compete with my, if other people do things well, I think, oh, I want to do that. It's
Yes.
more, it's like myself.
I know, you drove me. Like
Yeah.
when I first met you in the Rusalka at the Met, you were so kind to me. And I remember you came up to me and you said, oh, you're the one that I heard about. I don't know if you remember that. Alex Ryan. Yeah, and I thought, wow, she's cool. That's it. Like you even knew who I was. But
no, I loved you. What did I first hear you in? And I was so blown away by your voice. It was something you did with Placido, actually, Cyrano. Cyrano. And I just said, wow, I love your voice. It's so distinctive and rich and look, and you've since become a massive star. It's wonderful.
Well, Carrie and I, at the beginning of this, we were talking and saying, like, in my opinion, in our opinion, you really are like the end of a generation of divas. Like, in my opinion, you are the last diva.
Oh, come on. It's interesting because I just have been looking for young singers, mostly women, and to kind of, because somebody offered me some money to give away to someone, which was a wonderful gift.
Wow.
And I feel extremely positive. I mean, I just, there are tons of people I didn't know about. There's a lot of extraordinary talent in the pipeline.
Oh, yeah. And they're hungry. They are so
such hope. Yeah, real hopeful, really hopeful.
I think that's super exciting, especially after what we've all lived through in this past year and wondering how many artists across the board are actually going to survive this financially. Can they still be a part of this business, especially the younger ones just starting out? But their positivity over this whole year and even interviewing them, the young artist programs throughout the US really boosted our morale and said, oh my gosh, if they're this positive about this, then what are we boohooing about, No,
I agree. And also you're seeing so much personality and creativity. People are producing their own material and it's really excellent, so I've been incredibly impressed. The digital age has given everyone an opportunity to share who they are.
Yeah.
And not just perform.
Which can I say, for the two of us who really were never big fans of social media, to actually get on here and do this kind of thing and just let it all hang out and be who we are was a little scary.
And people love it, don't they? I mean, they love it. It's a whole different side.
Yeah.
Well, I think this medium too. I don't know about you because you've done a lot now too. We need to talk about that.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome interviews that you've done, but I find that people with this medium open up more.
Oh, interesting.
Do you find that with yours?
Yeah. Well, the thing I did through the pandemic was this webinar, sort of interviewing scientists and music therapists and people from that world. And I didn't get that impression, but certainly in our world, I think people would be. But you're sort of presenting as girlfriends, and you can't resist that. No one can resist that. You want to give me that glass of wine and let's go.
Thank you.
I know.
And honestly, who wasn't drinking during the pandemic or eating carbohydrates galore?
Right.
Come on, people. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, no,
And
it's true.
how did you and your family do with the pandemic? How was, you know?
Well, I haven't seen my youngest daughter in a year. And so she's coming this weekend, and I'm going to get teary just talking about it because I've
Oh.
missed her so much. She lives in LA, so she canceled both of her holiday trips. She's only 25, so I've really missed her so much. So that, but we're all well. We've all remained well. We're all vaccinated, and we're grateful. We're grateful. Everybody's done okay. My older daughter, I've seen, she's in med school and she's on the East Coast, so I've seen her
Oh, great.
on a regular basis. Thank goodness.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah,
Have you been able to do any singing or just the Met concert or?
the Met concert, I've been slowly doing some orchestra galas that we're, we film and just for streaming. I have another one in Baltimore coming up, and yeah, here and there, but very little. I mean, I don't know about you, but I had a little stage fright when I had to start singing again, even digitally. Because you think, A,
Yeah.
you're in a small room with a bunch of cameras and sometimes it's live. And B, I'm thinking, I don't know if I can still sing. I didn't realize, I thought I was extremely disciplined. I'm not so disciplined. I am a deadline person.
Okay.
Ah, okay.
So who
Yeah.
knew? And so I didn't have any deadlines this year. It was weird.
Mhm.
Yeah. No,
Mhm.
it was freak for me. The very first thing, but everything that I did the first 6 to 8 months was
Yeah,
all live. And that for me was more pressure with the filming
right,
because the potential of people watching it is
right.
exponentially larger.
It's true.
And you
Well,
think,
yeah, but that's true for everyone now. Everything you do, somebody's got a camera on you now. I don't love that.
Oh,
no, no. And the pressure is so much more. And, we always used to say you're only as good as your last performance, but
Mm,
now everything, thank you, YouTube, is all out there.
it's true.
And
sometimes those are even like before pandemic in rehearsals with iPhones popping out. You're in a rehearsal skirt, or you're in whatever, hair on top of your head, looking like a hot mess, and
Yeah,
somebody whipped out something and thrown it on, Instagram, and you're like, ah.
true.
So,
No, it's true. And it makes us too familiar also, I think, to everyone in a way that's not always helpful. Um, so I don't know, we just have to be brilliant all the time. And that's
I
the
know.
challenge.
Well, I,
well,
I don't know about you, but I feel like I worked so hard in my career to create this persona, the who I want, how I want the world to see me
Right.
as not just a singer, but as a person. And I feel that this has just completely deconstructed that.
Hmm.
Do you
Oh, that's
agree?
interesting.
Did you work hard to create
No,
that?
I wasn't very good at the persona thing. I've always sort of been me, but I have to say I've ultimately had to learn how to put up a lot of filters
mm,
just to protect myself from too many asks all the time. And so those have sort of remained, I would say, in a good way, And I'm accommodating, but it was hard for me to say no, and hard for me to kind of manage my schedule in a way that was kind of possible. So
Hmm.
that's why I did that. I had to kind of protect myself at some point.
I agree. And we can also be, especially I feel in the last year and a half, there's been a saturation level. Some people have said yes to everything.
Hmm.
And I don't know about you, but and Carrie too, that sometimes absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah. Yeah.
And these people that did all of this online stuff, it's just like, oh God.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's I ended up doing a lot in this sort of health intersection. Oh my God, I
mm.
looking out the window, there are cicadas everywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there are a million of them supposedly on my property. Like
I've
1 million.
read about this, that it's
Yeah.
insane right now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, they're crawling over the plants, they're flying past, and they're this big.
Oh,
They have
Yeah.
beady red eyes. I think they're kind of cute, actually.
But have you seen, like, even on, I think it was the CBS morning show, they interviewed this couple that are huge into researching cicadas, and the poor guy, oh gosh, I can't remember his name, it's terrible, CBS morning show, but they had cookies with a cicada in the middle of it and they ate them.
No.
I was told you're not supposed to eat them. Yeah. Yeah.
No, people cook them and eat them.
But this
Hell
is
no,
like
people.
this is a once in a how many year, 100-year thing
17
or
years,
something?
every 17 years.
Yeah, I can't even imagine it. I just can't imagine eating any bugs, frankly. I'm not that adventurous. But yeah, ooh.
No, thank you. Okay, talking about the digital thing, in the business, we've talked to a lot of general directors who I would say for the most part think that the digital is here to stay. It's going to be a part of our new opera reality.
Oh, that's interesting.
And part of me feels old school in thinking, no, I don't really want that. I mean, even Matthew had said, no, there's nothing better than hearing an opera voice live in a theater, etc. But maybe when we talked with Perrin, who is now at the Canadian Opera Company, said no, digital could actually be really wonderful to reach more people.
Yeah.
Do you have an opinion on that?
I think it's an ad. I think it's a good thing because it's like cinema. You know, we love film.
Yeah.
And it gives people a chance to kind of exercise a different type of creative outlet. There's no substitute for hearing a voice in a theater. There's just not. I mean, I remember hearing singers early in my career who I'd only heard on recording and thinking, wow, that's not at all what I expected. You have to hear the live thing. And when I did Bel Canto, the soundtrack for the film, Julianne Moore came to a rehearsal with her husband of Tucker Gala, which was interesting for them. And it was in the morning, and it's because you had all these different voices standing up and, quickly doing their one number. And they flipped out. They said, we had no idea how different everyone would sound, how interesting, because on television, everyone flattens out. It's all kind of the same, and it's not, it doesn't do us justice.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought it's always good to kind of get that opinion from someone who's really an outsider, and that I found really interesting. They loved it. They absolutely went crazy for it.
Wow. That's cool.
Variety, just a variety.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, but that said, I love some of the creative uses of digital storytelling that I've seen this last year, and I do hope we kind of keep that going.
I do too. I love that.
The creativity, like you said. Now, you mentioned Bel Canto there, and that you sang for that. Most opera singers just sing opera. And you have done, I'm sorry, you are the first opera singer to sing at the Super Bowl. Can we just acknowledge that? That is.
Yes, that was amazing.
Was that a goal of yours always, or did it just kind of happen organically?
No, everything has been organic pretty much. I didn't like being straight-jacketed in terms of repertoire. I never liked that. So I really did love branching out and singing different styles of music, different genre, because I grew up with a very eclectic kind of background in terms of music, and enjoyed it. I mean, I even did a CB radio jam with country music once,
Oh, cool.
I played the guitar, I did a little bit of everything growing up. Okay. So I enjoyed that. But events like the Super Bowl, those things can only come to you. I mean, you can't, or film for that, the same type of thing.
That's amazing.
Okay. I can't even, I'm sorry, this is maybe a little crass, but as you walked out there or whatever to get ready to sing on the Super Bowl, thank you for doing that, for bringing attention to this business and what we do. And you were so stunning that everybody lost their business watching this, and just hallelujah that this happened. But were you like peeing your pants just a little bit that this was happening?
Can I tell you, it was the most insane experience. I mean, first of all, the guy who made it possible was an administrator high up with NFL. Okay. And I found out he worked on this for 10 years to try and get them to agree to let me do the national anthem. And I don't recall why he thought it was a good idea. Maybe somebody told him. then when they call you, you can't say anything. You can't say a word to anyone until till it's announced, which is basically the day before. And you have to produce your own segment. So you have to raise money to produce whatever it is you're performing, whether you're the pop star at the intermission feature or whether you're singing the anthem or America the Beautiful. So I knew I wanted an orchestra. So thank God I had help from a wonderful manager who had been working with at the time, Matthew Ringel with Red Light, and he was able to find funds to pay for the orchestration and pay for the recording of the orchestration in New Jersey. But I mean, it was hard. And then I reached out to my friend Vera Wang and I said, Vera, can you help me? I knew it was supposed to be super cold.
Right.
And I knew she knew how to do that from all the ice skaters. And so she said, I'm with you. And so, but it was stressful. It was very stressful.
And with the delay, singing in
terrible. And they, to their credit, I had a rehearsal that allowed me not just to practice the delay and hearing that, but they also brought the Black Hawk helicopters in so I could hear that in rehearsal. That was kind of interesting. That was amazing.
I bet.
What they couldn't rehearse was the crowd. And the crowd made so much noise, because they were watching videos. That threw me off, but I was really well prepared. I had practiced that thing 100, 150 times in the 2 weeks before. I just kept singing it over and over.
So those vocal cords were going to do it the way you practice.
No matter what. Yeah, exactly.
Is there one moment in your career, and I mean, you have done so many things. Is there one moment in your career that you say, that was it? That was like the best of the best of the best?
I think there have been performances where I've thought, okay, I couldn't do that better, but I couldn't tell you what they were. I don't remember what they were, but there were certain things that I knew, okay, that put me on the map in a meaningful way that I wasn't on the map before. Mm-hmm. And so that, but actual things where I said, that's it. Not really. I'm just such a perfectionist and so critical, self-critical that nothing's ever,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But that's why you are where you are.
Yeah. I mean, you too. I mean, and your work ethic, I'm sorry, Carrie, I don't know that much about you.
Don't worry about it.
Forgive me, but Sandra, the way you take care of yourself in your voice and your body and your discipline, that's a level beyond me. It's so impressive.
Thank you.
I was thinking about you recently. I was watching something I did. Oh, I know what it was. It was in 2008. I was looking at this costume Met opening night. And it was Amami Alfredo in Traviata. And I thought, people don't realize what physical strength it takes to perform some of these things that require stamina.
Yeah.
And just how much strength. So, and you've been so wise, singing Norma, singing all of these hard roles to keep building that up.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I did Butterfly, and I was advised by other wonderful sopranos that had sung it, you need to start doing squats now, because to be able to get up beautifully from the floor, those thighs better be so strong you could bounce a quarter off of them,
Oh, right.
But it's true. Or like these heavy, I remember one time when I was singing, what was it? Was it
Ana Bolena?
And Christian Van Horn was there, and I joked and I said, hey, I always travel with a scale. It's psycho, I know. But I brought it with me and I was like, Christian, we need to get on the scale with these costumes and find out how much they weigh. His, I think, what did he say? Like it was almost 40 pounds.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to carry that around and sing and go upstairs. And so whatever, to me, size is a whatever, but I know people that are big people that are so strong that they can do this without even thinking about it. So for me, it is about that. It's about strength and stamina and all that kind of stuff. So it is, nobody realizes that.
Nope.
By the way, the cutest little travel scales you can get on Amazon.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, you have to, or forget it, or else I'm in denial. I'm really
Uh,
good at that. Really good at that.
I'm sorry,
I can,
especially when you're traveling through wonderful places like France and Italy and
Yeah,
like, oh,
Spain.
yeah,
pasta.
I can listen. I
yeah.
can find an excuse for everything, but you know, you
Oh,
step on you step on the
exactly.
scale and you
Yeah,
go. Mm. Tell me,
reality.
talk about your gowns and how you find your gowns, because I know a little bit about this, but
Well, gowns, boy, isn't that hard? I mean, it's just been. I was lucky because I came in on the tail end of this fascination that existed for a while with Maria Callas. She was
Mm.
already gone, but EMI did this massive sort of ad campaign about her when I was starting singing, and so designers became interested in dressing the diva. So
Yeah.
I had fabulous relationships with a number of top couture designers who, and that day they were doing extremely well, so they would give them to me. Ferre, I had something like 17 dresses from him that came in boxes. And my my form was next to Elizabeth Taylor. I said, I'm in really good company.
yay!
So then, and Miyake and Oscar de la Renta and Sanchez, I got so many dresses from Sanchez over the years, and we need them.
Ruben,
We
singer.
really need them. Ruben, absolutely, recently. And now it's much harder. Now it's much, much harder. So, and I also am finding it's hard to even purchase them. After the pandemic, there's not a lot that the department stores aren't selling much that's that quality. Are you finding that as well?
Oh,
I,
impossible.
when we
Yep.
interviewed Ruben, we talked about that because how his line has had to change because of the pandemic. And even
Uh,
as we come out of this, I mean, more and more people, as I'm finding in my own personal life with my husband, the office isn't something that everyone has to go to anymore Monday through Friday. It's,
yeah,
2 days, 3 days max,
right,
because a lot of companies found out that, oh, we don't actually need to have this office space anymore. We can save more money because
right.
productivity was not at the same, if not higher. So
Yes,
I
yeah.
think clothing is going to change quite a bit.
Well, personally, I'm not sure I can wear anything that doesn't stretch anymore. I just, you know,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
I'm I'm with you. I mean, what's it going to be like when we get back full swing again? You know, I don't.
Yeah, yeah, I've kept some professional clothes, but boy, I just got rid of a lot of clothing, including all those high heels. I said,
You
I'm not wearing
did?
these anymore,
I couldn't do it. That Met Gala, I have to tell you, I almost did the last half of it with Piotr. I almost did the last half of it barefoot. My feet were like going, no.
No.
No, no. I know
Walking up the
exactly what
stairs,
you
I'm
mean.
going,
Yeah,
please, dear God, don't let me fall. I just
not
like
gonna happen. Yeah.
it's great. Now Matthew, you saw the interview with Matthew Epstein, and he talked
Yes.
about that American Arts Council that he really wants
Yes.
to start, and he mentioned your name as a person on it. What do you think about that? And would you be willing to like spearhead it with all of us?
Honestly, wish we could drum up some interest in the arts. I just, I live here and
Hmm.
in the DC area. I think we have so many problems right now. I mean, the division is just a nightmare
Yeah.
for government. And the arts, unfortunately, are polarizing. There seems to be something that happens every couple of years that gives politicians free reign to kind of put us aside
Yeah.
and put the arts aside, especially the classical arts. And, so I just, I think it's very hard. But hopefully, I mean, listen, it's still worth fighting for. It's absolutely worth fighting for and worth, saying, on the basis of, frankly, on the basis of creativity and innovation, when you think about what made this country great, it was definitely innovation.
Yeah.
Yep.
And to be able to have an arts education, which most of us grew up with,
Yes.
and previous generations as well. I mean, when I got interested in this whole intersection of health and the arts, one of the things that inspired me was the fact, I don't know about you guys, but everywhere I've sung in the world, I can get great medical care. Well, and doctors all over the world are amateur musicians.
Hmm.
I've noticed that early on, and it's been true.
Yep.
And then Robert Smith, who's chairman of Carnegie Hall, said the same is true of CEOs. He has these meetings, these kind of, with the very gifted people at the top, they've all studied some instrument.
Mm-hmm.
So it does have a huge effect on the brain, on our development, on this notion that we think out of the box.
Yeah.
And I just think those are some of the arguments that can be made that would strengthen what we do.
I think so. I mean, I know I grew up in Florida. The arts were huge, kind of like Texas. Texas has kept that, but Florida hasn't. So arts in the school have diminished because of funding and all that kind of stuff. I do love things like what Michael Fabiano has done with Art Smart, which is actually having something where kids can go to that, and teachers like all three of us can actually get involved in that and be able to teach young underprivileged kids that don't have access to this.
Right.
And I love that. With the Marilyn Horne Foundation years ago, when she did that and she sent all of us young kids out there to sing in the elementary schools, the middle schools, and the high schools, it's like in the middle of Nebraska, and these kids are like, oh, we've never heard opera before, and you never knew what that could lead to later on in their lives. And I feel like we've lost that. And so what you're talking about with innovation, somehow we need to get back in there. Somehow maybe some of us in this generation can help do that. That's exciting to me.
Yes. I was responsible for an education panel at the Kennedy Center a couple of years ago, and we had Ken Alpus come, who's from the University of Maryland, and he really just explores statistics, music education statistics around the country. Cool. And so he said it's actually not as bad as we think. He said there's a lot of support for the lowest socioeconomic strata schools because people really want to help in any number of ways to give those kids a lift. And of course, there's money for the highest. And sometimes the middle is what kind of gets forgotten about.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised too. And of course, I'm sure he's talking about urban areas because I'm sure in rural areas, there's very little.
Right.
Together, but I don't know. I only recently learned that Florida was a hot spot for music ed.
Yeah.
Down there, they said, oh no, it's it's always been really strong, but I'm sorry to hear that it's declining somewhat.
It's not, I mean, it's still there, but it's not what it was. Does that make sense?
So, yeah. I mean, I'm from New York State, and we had terrific music ed, really great programs.
Yeah, awesome.
Did we all get to do musicals growing up?
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
I was always an opera singer. I was that weird one.
Oh, neat.
Oh,
I caught the bug. I tried to sing it, and I sounded like some, that weirdo over there, like, shh, Sandra, too loud.
Yeah, too loud.
Carrie sings Disney princesses, though, very well.
I'm a Florida girl, so I grew up in church, so I wanted to be Amy Grant and Sandy Patty. And so you put me in a karaoke room, and I even ran karaoke in college. Like, I love it.
Oh, sweet. I did karaoke at my wedding, my second wedding, and did a very mean Natural Woman.
Yeah.
Very mean.
Well, you have a whole CD of all that, don't you?
Well, I have a rock CD. That was really out there. Really.
I loved it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to make a deal with you. Next time I'm in DC, I'm finding you and we're going to go do some karaoke.
Karaoke. Okay. All right.
No phones. No phones.
It's a deal. It's a deal.
How does this is a question that we also asked Marilyn Horne. How does a singer transition through their career? Because, I feel like I'm now thinking about Endgame. I'm 52. And how have you moved along in your career?
Well, I'm always thinking 10 years in advance. And this is from, when I was 25, I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be 30 in 5 years. I better plan for that. So this has just always been part of my, if I suffer in advance, maybe it won't be so bad when it comes type thing. So I think for me, it's been about, well, first of all, I transitioned when I had children. So away from opera. Once the kids had to be at school, I couldn't just be gone all the time, and into concertizing, which I still, now because both girls are out of the house, of course I'm, busy all the time. I've been on a plane every 3 days, basically. Whoa. Until the pandemic. and really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. So that you can do forever because you can sing whatever repertoire you still are happy with and comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
People, your fans want to hear you always. So
Mhm.
that's certainly something you could enjoy. And you could do it with orchestra as well. And then I also, it's a lot about vocal care, about taking care of your voice, because I tell young people, I said, stop trying to sound like me. I want to sound like you. Stop trying to add weight and darkness and maturity to your sound and keep it light and bright and youthful,
Yeah.
uh, because I have to make an effort to maintain that type of quality. So my vibrato doesn't get too slow. So I
Right.
still have my top, so I can float. For
Mhm.
me, the float is the sign of vocal health.
I agree. I
You
agree.
know?
Yep.
Yeah.
And but
So,
it's hard. Like I just gave up Traviata because you don't want to see a 52-year-old sing Violetta. I'm sorry.
yeah, I actually I was thinking the same way, but I don't believe it anymore. I don't think it matters. I think audiences want to see the artists they love. In fact, you got to remember who made a huge influence on me, and that was the Italian soprano who grew up with Luciano.
Scalto.
No, um,
Miranda Frani.
thank you, Franny. So she sang Tatiana very late, really late. She came back to the Met and sang a fantastic Tatiana, and people were thrilled, absolutely thrilled.
See, Sandra, listen to Renee.
Yeah. No, but
I
I thought the same thing that you're thinking, and now I think that that wasn't right. That actually wasn't right. If you can still sing it, keep singing it.
okay. Well,
Right?
I mean Matthew Epstein said the same thing too. He's like, Sandra, go sing it. And
Get
Yeah,
over it.
the agility and
right.
the freshness in the voice as long as you can.
No, and you look 12 on stage. You know, you
Oh,
wear beautiful costumes, you have lighting, you make sure you feel good.
yes.
You're not working with people who are undermining you. So you get on and you feel beautiful, then you are her. You're a
That's
great
true.
actress. I mean, that's for all of those reasons. Keep doing it.
I could hug you for that. Thank you. I am with you in 100%. I think you're only as old as how you think. And if she can
Yeah.
still get out there and sell it, then why not? I mean, why
Yeah.
not?
Yes. Yeah. Because
I know.
I would say to some degree, I was too conservative. You know, I was always very nervous. I've always been a nervous singer, a fearful singer. But if I didn't have that, if I could be outside of myself, I would have said, just keep doing it.
Go for it.
Yeah, keep
How
doing it.
how was it doing? How long was it after you had your child that you sang Desdemona at the Met?
It was 4.5 weeks. I know that was insane. That was really insane. I don't know how I did it. I really don't know how I did it.
It was spectacular.
Because so that was opening night. 4.5 weeks was opening night, but I went back into full rehearsals when she was 2 weeks old. So it turned out to be a very important engagement, but I have to say, you pay for that. You pay for that because you have less time with this baby. And of course, fortunately, I lived 5 blocks from the Met, so I was constantly running back and forth. You have to have the energy and the will and the need to make it all work somehow.
Wow. No,
Which
I saw those. That was with Placido, right?
right, right.
It was spectacular.
I
Your
Yeah.
last.
can't.
Now,
Oh
to
my.
be fair, I thought the baby would weigh 40 or 50 pounds when she was born. You can imagine my surprise. So that was unfortunate. I said, wow, I didn't like the video when I saw it. I said, damn, that didn't work out very well.
Did it change your voice having children?
No, I didn't see any change. And I know some people have said that they've had an effect, but I didn't see any change.
What about
I did
Youre?
see, however, I will say this, you know can no longer support. You have to build up your physical, your core again.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So that's really, really important.
after having a baby. Whoa.
Yeah.
No, I mean, without, I don't have children, but my friends that have had them, there's always something weird that changes, like their hair, it goes from curly to straight, or, crazy things happen to them. But
I
Really,
was
really
stupid. I was incredibly stupid. My first child was born. I sang my first Tatiana a month later, or I went to rehearsals a month later, and didn't start memorizing it until after she was born. And I just kept thinking, why isn't this going in? This Russian, what? It's just not going in.
Mhm.
Oh my God, that took years off my life.
Michael Fabiano, we interviewed him yesterday, and he said he's going to start looking at some Russian rep. And I said, start now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Really.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did that with the Peak Dom. I left it, you know, a bit too late.
Yes. It's
Oh,
really you're learning sounds by rote. It's so hard.
Yeah.
it is. It's just phonetics. It's the
Well, in those two roles, it's a lot of text.
oh,
I had sung Rusalka already. Rusalka is not a lot of text.
no.
It's repeated all the time,
Mhm.
It's much more simplistic, the language in that particular role than in, I mean, the letter scene alone, oh my God, it goes on forever.
I know.
So
But do you
Is
speak
it?
any Czech?
no,
No.
no, I had to learn everything by rote. But I will say this about the letter scene and Onegin is that whenever it is that I'm, at the end of my life, that's I'm going to be singing that because it is just still there. Something that's really hard to learn. Don't you find you don't forget it?
No, right.
But
Yeah.
the older you get, the harder it is to memorize. I'm just gonna
Oh
throw that
yeah,
out there.
it's a
Like,
pain. No, it is a
oh,
pain. Yeah, it
I'm
takes a
working
bit
on
more time.
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
And on top of that, like COVID brain,
yeah.
it's just it's a real thing. I trying
And
to memorize Macbeth now, I'm just going,
no, it's like going back to school again. It's seriously like being no, it's ridiculous, I think.
Well, I
Yeah.
have
yeah.
friends who are actors who are in, who do television.
Hmm.
I don't know how they do it. And just being on Broadway too and watching them, they make all these changes, and the next day they'd have to have it like that. New
Hmm.
song, new dance, new this, new that. And they're just extraordinarily disciplined and quick. It's no accident that Broadway people end up in television.
It's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a different side of the brain, I think. I dated an actor
I
a while
can't.
ago, and he would just sit on the train and memorize, his lines, and I'm going, I can't do that.
No, no,
Yeah.
I don't.
Mm.
Well, plus I don't want to do it. I procrastinate. It's hard.
I'm
It's
like
not
you.
fun. It's the most tedious thing we do.
Hmm.
Don't you
I'm like
think?
you. I
Is
have to have a deadline.
memorization.
If I don't have a deadline, forget it. I find 20 other things to do that in my mind are
Right,
more important
right.
than
Like
working on.
cleaning, doing laundry. But don't you find too, I mean, the whole memorization piece, but also I just find that I learn music so fast. I
Uh-huh.
mean,
Yes.
I have a musical brain. So,
Hmm.
so I mean, I hear it and I
Hmm.
know it.
Yeah.
How
And so I don't want to wait for the rest.
No.
how do you memorize the text? Do you have a special technique?
Yes, I actually type it out. I want to see it consolidated. I want to see it have a visual mind's eye view of the page.
Hmm.
So I have little tricks, and then I use alphabetical and all different kinds of ways of connecting certain words. And some things are easier than others. The hardest to memorize for me always used to be Italian.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, even Traviata, I just thought the language was not very colloquial. It was just I don't know. I found it harder. I mean, the hardest, of course, is what we talked about. It's the Russian, the languages we don't speak. Portuguese, Portuguese is hard.
Oh, I thought I can't even imagine Portuguese. Czech about killed me. I mean, the only way that I can keep it, I know that if I can walk down the street and say the lines in my mind with the rhythm in the
Yeah,
notes, then I know I have it. If I can't do that, it's like if you only get to the third word and you mess up the fourth, you got to go
yeah,
back. And
Right back.
so walking around New York City 100 times or getting on a treadmill or whatever it was, if I could move
right.
my feet and remember the words. But even then, I have to say, like as many times as I've sung Tosca, there's still these
Yeah.
moments where you're like, what's next?
Where are we?
That's interesting. Vanessa Williams said that she memorizes always on the treadmill.
I do. I have to have motion with mine. I
Got to be
have to be
moving.
moving either with the beat or in a rocking chair. That was my big thing.
That's a
Oh,
good idea.
see, I would go to sleep. Yeah.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
working out. Yeah, I mean, I have to have the motion with it. I learned that very
That's
luckily, very early
interesting.
on when I was in the Young Artist program, and I bought this rocking chair.
Huh.
I don't know, it's very random, but and I found, oh, I can memorize that way.
Wow. I'm going to try that.
Yep, putting motion to it. Because if I'm sitting still, I
Yeah.
like Carrie. No.
I'll write it out. I start there. I have to write, right? I just need to see it on the page, see it on the page. But like you, the music is just boom, I know it. Maybe from all the piano lessons, like starting at 5. I don't know, but
Yes.
something like that. But the words have always just been.
So what's next for you? What's new and exciting, if you can share anything? Or
So I'm going to Aspen. So I've got Baltimore this week. I'm going to Aspen because I co-direct the operative program there with Patrick Summers for a month, and then I start touring again in August. I have a concert here at Wolf Trap as well before I leave, and then August is a lot of Europe, Berlin Philharmonic. I'm in Amsterdam and Riga and Edinburgh Festival, and a lot of different places. Grafenig. It's going to be. I'm so excited to get back to that life. But I have the hours coming up at the Met, which I'm thrilled about, and I'm think I'm going to be playing Pat Nixon in China in Paris, which I'm excited about.
oh wow.
And I just did a recording with Yannick Nézet-Séguin in Philadelphia of a lot of song literature with 3 premieres. And this was a really arduous process of putting together, again, all new music. And so I'm sure I'll be touring that, pieces of that. So I feel very fortunate to still be loving singing so much.
Love it.
Yeah.
And have the opportunity to keep going.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
No stop date. There's like no number that you're going to say, okay, when I turn this age, done, I'm going to retire.
No, I mean, I do think that this is the icing. I'm not in the cake anymore. But not really. As long as honestly, I'm not a person who would be comfortable continuing if I don't think I'm singing well, and if I don't think singing well, for what I have, and if I don't think I sound good, then I would want to stop. It would make me very unhappy.
Okay.
Do you teach?
I do a lot of master classes, and of course, the summer in Aspen, I'll teach the whole time I'm there. So one of the things that I think has been interesting for me is I'm learning about the fact that I think I have good teaching instincts. All my family are teachers; they're all teachers. So, for instance, I'm confident in my ability to diagnose what I'm hearing, but the language has changed dramatically from when I learned how to sing. It's, the imagery is less important now. People are using the voice science.
Yeah.
And the terminology is quite different because it's much more scientific. And the other thing that I'm realizing is that because I've never taught in a studio, I know my own repertoire extremely well. I don't know everybody else's repertoire.
So
Tenors.
true, right? Yeah.
I still can't teach tenors. I don't know how they work.
I've worked with them in, it's easier to work with young singers because there's so much to do, but really accomplished singers, I find I'm just like, yeah, rah, 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 keep going, I want to be a leader.
I find that support seems to be the thing that none of them, the young singers, get still.
I know, and I don't know why. I think it's often not discussed. And I think it's such an crucial, important, tell me what do you say about support?
Ooh.
Well, Carrie and I think we're both the same, aren't we? When we talk about support, that you have to have the foundation and it has to be active. I find so many of them feel like they find the position and then they hold it, but that it's active. It has to be active and buoyant. And we're living human beings, and so the breath always has to be active and not just stuck,
right,
or pushed.
Pushing out.
I agree. And the fact that you did this makes me very happy because
3-dimensional.
There's a lot of belly breathing and a lot of belly support out there, and I just think your lungs are not in your belly. They're great open. Absolutely, you want the diaphragm to drop and you want that to open up, but the intercostal muscles for me, that rib cage opening is the key, and then kind of keeping that buoyant. I agree with you 100%.
Mhm.
Do you
I
agree,
think it's-
Carrie?
Yes, no, because I think it's on my body. You can see it. Those are the muscles that are worked out the most. You can see
Yeah.
those muscles. It's amazing. And then also the floor, because it always still has to be this constant, to me, spin, and then this up and down and out. And it, yeah, I think it's hard to describe. Honestly, the first time I understood support was when I was standing on stage with an orchestra, because somehow my body understood, oh, you've got to get this sound to the last row, and how are you physically going to do that without pushing
Right.
cords and so much air on the cords? And
Yeah.
somehow it just, all those things that people had told me just kind of clicked, and I went, oh,
Right.
now I get it. I was a weird one with
No,
support.
you're not weird. Stop it.
No,
Okay,
it's
can I
hard.
ask-
It's complicated. It is, these are all involuntary muscles for the most part. So we have to,
Yeah.
we have to find it and then maintain it. And, we keep going off the rails. I have to constantly keep working at it. Tongue tension, killer.
Oof.
Oh my
You-
gosh, forever. And Sandra and I, we've talked about this in length. I didn't even know that if you, like, I hurt my ankle very badly. I limped for almost a year, cast, the whole thing, and how that crazy body work where you're like, this travels its way all the way up, and
Tension.
tension can come from other places that you never knew that it was going to do that. To learn that lesson was enormous. So
Yeah.
tongue tension. And I love to hear you say that. I think if any young singer is listening to this, you will always work until you are done singing. It is constantly learning and changing.
100%. Absolutely. And it's just that body awareness that's really hard.
Yep.
But you never stop. It's not like I remember when you're young, you think, oh, I've learned, I'm going to learn how to do this. And then I never have to think about it again.
Yeah.
No.
I still work with teachers. I know Carrie did. I don't know if you do, or
Teachers,
coach, or
coaches.
You got to have outside ears, people you trust,
Thank you.
people, I mean, my main teacher passed away, but definitely coaches, I'll ask them, how is that sound? How is this sound? And you have to have people you really trust.
she was amazing. I sang for her once.
Who?
Beverly.
You did?
I did. Ruth Falcon and she were very good friends
Yes.
towards the end. And
Yes.
Ruth
Yeah.
wanted Beverly to hear me because she was having an issue I couldn't figure out how to get into my chest voice.
Right.
Couldn't figure it out. Ruth couldn't crack the nut.
Mm.
So she said, you're going to go sing for Beverly. And Beverly gave me great advice on how to get into the chest voice, and it made sense to me.
Yeah, she, I was just with her for a long time, before she passed, and I had a great teacher before then as well. Who also, Stephanie Blythe came from her studio as well, up in Potsdam,
Yeah, Patricia.
Yeah.
Pat.
So, and I studied with a million people in between, just
Yeah.
lots of lessons with different people.
Well,
But I got
glean.
really good at sort of saying, I'm going to take that, I'm going to take this. This feels, you have to follow your instincts.
Totally.
Go in the practice room and do your own work.
Well,
and I love that you said, find the people you trust, especially those people that are going to be honest with you, that really tell you like it is.
Right. Well, and once you're successful, there's almost nobody.
Oh, I don't know. Sandra's like, what'd you think of that? I'm like, hot mess, girl, hot mess.
Carrie's honest. We did Rusalka here. She was the foreign princess and I was Rusalka. And every day she was going up for the high C and the foreign princess, and I was staring at it. This was David McVicker's production, the Chicago one.
I love that.
I do too. Oh my gosh, isn't that glorious?
Production. Oh my
Glorious.
God, fabulous.
But Carrie would go up for that high C, and she just every day, and I'm staring at her, and I would just, after she sang it one day, maybe not as great as the other, and I just went,
oh, thank you.
But the day she did it really good, I was like,
yes.
See, that's what friends are for.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, Bolena, she'd come around the corner. She's like, am I in tune? Is that right?
After I spat on her, but
Oh my God.
So
okay, can I ask you like one insane question?
Of course.
I'm in DC. We're doing Don Giovanni. This is right before everything stopped in March. And I had actually sung, I came out in the opera house to listen to some of my other colleagues. So I didn't see you. I didn't know that you were there. I don't remember what happened, but all of a sudden people were like, oh, Renee is here. Renee is here. Do you know Renee's here? I mean, all the singers were freaking out, totally fangirling out, and rightly so. And so my question to you is, out of your career and all the amazing famous people that you've met, have you ever fangirled over someone particular, like a famous actor or another famous singer or somebody like that?
I think the worst, first of all, I get extremely shy around celebrities. So my husband's really great. He's not afraid of anybody.
Okay.
We were in Buckingham Palace maybe 18 months ago, and somebody said, "You want to meet the Queen?" And he shook her hand. I said, "You're not supposed to do that." So he's just fearless. So now I know to take him with me because he'll make sure that we meet X, Y, and Z. And,
Okay.
just getting over that hump of shyness. But the funniest story was I was at this incredible party in Malibu a long time ago. And the host of the party knew that I was a Joni Mitchell fanatic, that she was my touchstone. And he just said, all these celebrities were there, Barbara Streisand and Pamela Anderson. And I'd forgotten, I'd have to go look it up, but there were at least 10 really top-notch celebrities there. And the small party, and he said, "Renee, go get the door, the pizza's here." Of course, this party was fully catered, I opened the door and it's Joni Mitchell. And I just, so we talked for a long time, and she was, I wouldn't even call it chain smoking. It's more like you don't finish a cigarette and then you start the next one. It's just like really continuous. Mm-hmm. And I just was trying to make a case to her for why she should sing. She said, "I only have 3 pitches." I said, we want to hear those 3 pitches.
Oh,
just do that. So that really absolutely made me insane. But I got to have lunch with Joan Sutherland in her home in Switzerland when I was a young singer in Geneva. Got to pick her brain about how she sang her high notes. And she told me that, to the best of her ability, exactly how she did it. She talked about it when she went way up, about the entire directional piece going back.
This way, yes.
Forward. Yeah. And sort of kind of creating this sort of shape. Mm-hmm. But I had the most, I think, exciting for me was having 3 long sessions with Leontine Price, where she just gave me advice, and it was really helpful. It was extremely helpful.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any advice?
Around. I took notes.
I look forward to that book. Sorry, I look forward to that book.
Yeah, when you write your book,
information in it.
Yeah.
Can we end with you giving any advice to the young singers nowadays about going forward in this business?
Wait a minute. We're not doing rapid fire. We have to do rapid fire.
Okay, well, we could do rapid fire too. I know Renee has time, so.
Okay.
What's rapid fire?
We asked you silly questions.
Oh, okay.
She's like, I don't know what rapid fire is. Bye-bye. Click end meeting.
It's up to you. You want to do rapid fire? We'll do rapid fire.
Let's try it.
Okay. Inside the Actor Studio, James Lipton, he always asks these 10 questions. I'm a huge fan of them. We sometimes use them. Sometimes we use other ones. Do you care if we use the James Lipton ones?
No, because I don't know what they are. So
okay. Great. What is your favorite word?
Think.
What is your least favorite word?
Gosh. See, I'm not very good at this. Right now I'm thinking about my least would definitely be no. Ooh. I'm not really good at no.
That's good.
What turns you on?
Oh, coffee. I'm looking at your mug right now. Coffee for sure. That's my guilty pleasure.
There's several espressos in here. I'm so sorry.
Oh man. Wow.
And what turns you off?
What turns me off? Lying. Lying.
I grew up with that. Man, you did not lie to your mama. That was a hot mess right there. Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, it's a form of betrayal that I really find very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Okay, what sound or noise do you love?
Right now, cicadas for sure. It's so soothing. It's in waves. It's
really?
Beautiful. I think they're making music together. I really do.
Wow.
Well, and other things.
And what sound or noise do you hate?
It's funny. I'm now a little bit sensitive to extremely loud, like street noise in New
Oh.
York, a traffic noise.
Mm-hmm.
I find it makes me tense.
I can't deal with it. I cannot.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Okay, we asked this of every guest. How many episodes have we done now? What is your favorite cuss word in any language?
I really don't swear very much.
So there you go.
I'm a goodie. I'm a goodie.
You're a good Southern lady.
Yeah, I mean,
That's okay.
it does come out on occasion, but it's not my nature.
To say it. Even a good F-bomb,
Yeah.
I mean, those are kind of amazing.
Yeah, it happens. It definitely happens. My husband will tend to look at me like, what?
Whoa.
Who is that?
So I don't do it a lot. So, but in the meantime, there's lots of darns and damn it and
Yeah,
the SH word and all of those.
Yeah, I love that.
Isn't this lame? I'm sorry, I'm so lame.
It's not lame. No, you know what? Listen, when my husband cusses, like the whole room pays attention because it's very rare that a cuss word comes out of his mouth. So I get it.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, let's put it this way. My children always, when I got mad, they thought it was charming. So they try really hard not to laugh. I'd have to say, I'm really mad.
don't you see it?
Oh, that had to be so infuriating. Yes.
Yeah.
So what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Oh, I wish I was a scientist. Yeah, I'm smitten. I'm really smitten.
Okay.
Science. Because, as far as I'm concerned, science is also incredibly creative. You imagine something, you think it might be true, and then you set about to prove it. Researchers, I mean, I think that what they do is fascinating. It may take, and it's extraordinary because it takes decades sometimes to come, sometimes a whole lifetime doesn't bring you any closer to the hypothesis you were trying to prove in the first place. So yeah, I'd love to be a neuroscientist if I had.
Wow. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
What profession would you not like to do?
Oh gosh, there are lots. I have to say, I don't think, my husband's a tax attorney and accountant, all that we're definitely opposites attract. There's nothing about math that appeals to me.
Me neither.
No.
I flunked it.
Yeah.
And last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you enter through the pearly gates?
Oh, wow. I just read a Hafetz poem yesterday, sent to me by composer Andrew Lippa. It was so beautiful. When you get into heaven, you will say to your loved one, what can I do to make you happier? What can I do to make your life better?
Aww.
And it could be man to man, it could be woman to woman, it could be man to woman and woman to man. It's a beautiful, this is an ancient poem, a Persian poem. So I just thought that was so beautiful. It was very moving to me.
Absolutely.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for doing this today. It's nice just to sit and chit chat with you.
I agree.
Totally.
I miss girlfriends. I so miss girlfriends.
I know. And this was the only way that we could do this during COVID.
You're getting to Zoom with all your colleagues. Is it once a week? What a great idea.
Yeah, we have one show a week. Yeah.
Yeah.
We release one show a week.
We started with 2 during the pandemic because we had so much time. Everybody had time. So we took advantage of that, complete advantage. And but then we, when things got busy and Sandra started working, it was 1 a week, and we have a blast doing it. So
God, you're both so beautiful. I can't wait to hear you sing. I cannot wait to hear you sing again.
Well, we want to try to do a Screaming Divas in concert.
Oh, fabulous.
We're going to have guest artists.
Yeah, we're going to have Screaming Divas and friends.
Yeah.
Okay,
Get ready for a phone call.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah. Oh my God. People will flock to that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why
they will
not?
flock to it.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun.
Well, take care of yourself
Too.
I know.
and
Love.
enjoy seeing your daughter.
Oh my gosh.
I can't wait. I'm going to cry.
I can't wait to
Thank
see my
you.
mom too. Thank you so much for doing this.
care. Bye, Renee.
Bye. Much love.
Bye.
I'm good. Just checking.
I'm totally screenshotting that. Got any bugs?
Oh, geez. I'm just like ridic today.
Oh, here's you. Here's you. Are you ready?
Don't fucking fangirl. Cheers. Don't fangirl.
I'm going to fangirl my ass out. Damn.
All right. 1 hour. Keep the poop in a group.